Firefighters have been around since the original Sims game. They've shown up in all 4 iterations in one form or another. They've become a staple to us in the Sims series. Today, we're looking at what makes firefighters hot or not in all 4 of the Sims games. So let's get started. In the original Sims 1, it was really easy to start a fire on your lot if you had a Sim who didn't know how to cook. In the catalog, there is a fire alarm and it says, highly recommended for stubborn Sims who can't cook but insist on using stoves. We're here in the newbie household with Bob and Betty. They don't have a stove, so I'm gonna buy them one so that we can start a fire. Betty here has no cooking skill, which is not good, and if I were gonna play this game, I would not have her cook, but we want a fire, so I'm gonna have her go and serve dinner. Bob decided he was gonna take over the stove and cook first, so we have to wait on him to get done. Bob has like 3 cooking skills, so it's not very likely he's gonna set the house on fire, but let's see if we can get Betty to do it. Okay, here she goes to the stove. No, don't put that in the microwave. They're not gonna set that house on fire with the microwave, so we're gonna have her do this again. Put that on the ground, Betty, where it belongs. And cook another meal on the stove. What's wrong with you? Okay, here she goes at the stove. Come on, let's cross our fingers that she's gonna catch the house on fire so we can summon a firefighter. No, she didn't. Okay, try again, Betty. Try again. Now, in The Sims 1, when you have a fire alarm, it has to be in the same room that the fire starts. So you want to put those in the kitchen. Oh my God, Betty. How many times are we gonna have to have you cook before you start a fire? It'll be easy to start a fire, I said. Okay, so it only took me about 3 days to get a fire to start on this lot, and the tragic clown is here. I don't know, it's Sims 1. So once a fire starts on a lot, if you have a fire alarm, it will start going off and it will alert the fire department. Your Sims can either try to extinguish it themselves or just wait for the firefighter to appear. If you don't have a fire alarm, you can go to services and call them directly from the phone. But it looks like they're already on their way to our house, so I'm gonna press play. We're gonna watch the craziness. Okay, so Betty, I'm gonna have her try to extinguish the fire on her own right now. She's just freaking out. So Sims will do this in all of the Sims games. They freak out over the fire, of course, and you kind of have to manage them and try to get them to try to extinguish it. Now, it's going to take just a little while before our firefighter shows up, and there he is. So he shows up on foot, and if you hover over him, his name is Firefighter Freddy. He'll just run into your house and start putting out the fire. Now, he doesn't use the same fire extinguisher as the Sims in The Sims 1. He has his own heavy-duty super fire extinguisher that works even better. In The Sims 1, Freddy can extinguish all fires on the lot, even if they're usually inaccessible to other Sims. But, you know, he's not that smart about it, to be honest, and if you have a huge fire and you have Sims or pets on fire, he will not prioritize extinguishing them. He will just start extinguishing the fire that's closest to him. So this was a simple little stove fire, and he was able to put it out, and now he's going to turn around and leave the lot. In The Sims 1, you cannot interact with Freddy in any way. He will just show up, put out the fire, and then immediately leave. He just walks right off the lot. There are no fire trucks in The Sims 1. Those weren't introduced until we got to The Sims 2. In The Sims 1, you also have the option to click on the phone and choose services and call the fire department at any time, even if there's not a fire on the lot. If you do that and the firefighter shows up, you will be fined hundreds of millions for falsely reporting a fire, I guess. In The Sims 2, fire alarms work the same way that they do in The Sims 1. They have to be in the same room as the fire. So I'm gonna put one in the kitchen here, and we'll have Dita come down and try to cook some food. She doesn't have any cooking skill, so I'm hoping that we can get her to start a fire. Just making mac and cheese in my bikini. What I do? Okay, she cooked it and she did not start a fire. So there is a surefire way to start a fire in The Sims 2. I would not recommend this unless you were specifically trying to start a fire, but you can put a grill, like an outdoor grill, inside, cook on it, and it is going to start a fire. Get over here and grill some hot dogs indoors. And there we go. It starts a fire immediately and the fire alarm starts going off. So just like in the original game, firefighters are automatically summoned by a fire alarm that's going off, or your Sims can go to the phone and call the fire department, which takes even longer. Once the firefighters are summoned, they will show up pretty much immediately. They're already here, and it was like 1 second. In The Sims 1, Freddy the firefighter takes a little bit longer to show up, but in The Sims 2, it's pretty much instantly. So we have a fire trucks for the first time in The Sims 2, which is really cool, and I think it really adds to the immersion and makes the fire just feel more exciting whenever you have the fire engine pull up in the front yard. A firefighter will get out and run into the house to start extinguishing the flames. Now, he uses the same exact fire extinguisher that the Sims use themselves, but he just uses it better. He's more efficient at using it. So he ran straight in and put out the fire, and we're good. After he puts out the fire, he'll kind of hang around the lot for a few minutes, giving your Sims a chance to talk to him. Because unlike The Sims 1, in The Sims 2, you can actually start a relationship with a firefighter. You can make friends with him. You can even marry him or move him in. And then you'll get a little pop-up right before he leaves saying, please be more careful next time, bye. Another cool thing about firefighters is if you have a really big fire that has spread sort of out of control on your lot, 2 firefighters will actually get out of the fire truck and come help you fight it. Another difference from The Sims 1, though, is that Sims 2 firefighters cannot access fires that are in inaccessible areas. So if there's a place that your Sims can't get to, the firefighter can't get there either. In The Sims 2, each pre-made neighborhood comes with 3 pre-made firefighters. If you've played a lot of Pleasant View, you might recognize Mitch Lawson here. Pleasant View also has Mara Simpson and Neil Letourneau. Player-created worlds, on the other hand, will just spawn 3 random firefighters. If a fire starts when a firefighter is present on the lot, even if he was just invited over as a guest by one of your Sims, he will immediately just run over and start to put out the fire, which is a pretty cool perk of having a firefighter as a friend. Okay, Dina and Nina, cut it out here. I'm trying to make a video. Now I'm gonna have Dina start a fire again because apparently she didn't learn her lesson the first time, and I'm gonna have her try and immediately extinguish the fire and see if we can get it out before the firefighter gets here. Nope, we didn't. If you manage to get the fire out yourself before the firefighter gets here, and he comes on the lot when there's not a fire, your Sim will be fined 500 simoleons, and they will get a negative memory for that, in addition to the negative memory that they get for the fire. Dina here has a negative memory of burning hot dogs and from a fire starting on her lot. So another cool thing about firefighters in The Sims 2, they can be male or female. This is the female firefighter, Mara Simpson. She's wearing a blue outfit while Mitch was wearing a yellow, so they have 2 different outfits they can wear. If the Seasons expansion pack is installed, during a thunderstorm, lightning can strike a tree somewhere on your Sims lot, causing a fire, but the rain will put it out. However, your Sims can call the fire department while the tree is on fire. If they do, by the time the firefighter gets there, they will be charged 500 simoleons for that false call. That's pretty much all there is to firefighters in The Sims 2. I really love the fact that they show up in a fire engine and that you can actually have 2 of them arrive on your lot if you have a big, huge fire that gets out of control. Plus, for the first time ever, you can form relationships with the firefighters, invite them to your house, marry them, be friends with them, or whatever. There's not a firefighter career in The Sims 1 or Sims 2 that your Sims can actually join, but we did get that in The Sims 3. So let's go check out firefighters in the next game. In The Sims 3, fire alarms work exactly the same as they do in The Sims 1 and 2. I'm gonna put one in the kitchen here, and we're gonna have Marty Keaton come and try to serve some breakfast even though he has no cooking skill. We'll see if we can get him to start a fire and summon a firefighter over. And he did not. For some reason, I find it harder in The Sims 3 to start a fire through cooking than it is in The Sims 1 and 2. I feel like my Sims hardly ever start fires in The Sims 3. So we're gonna take an extreme measure. Just like we did in The Sims 2, we're gonna put an outdoor grill inside and see if we can start a fire that way. Come on, Marty. Come on, Marty, serve some hot dogs. No, actually, I take that back. Serve some tofu dogs. Let's get this fire started. He's lighting it up. He's putting the tofu dogs on. And it doesn't immediately start a fire like it does in The Sims 2. That's unfortunate. I guess I'll have to keep trying. And he just got a cooking skill. Great. Great, Marty. Good job. Good job not burning down your house. So one way to start a fire, since the grill doesn't work, is to have your Sim step away and leave the food there still cooking. We'll see if that will do the trick. I think he didn't start a fire on the stove because it's not a cheap enough stove. Usually if you have a Sim with no cooking skill and a super cheap stove, it's a little bit easier to get a fire going. Not that you'd want to do that on purpose. Just saying. Sometimes you need to have a fire in your game for some reason. A story, a video, or if you're just a devious asshole who wants to set your Sims on fire, I don't know. I'm not judging you. Okay, we got a fire. Having Marty abandon the hot dogs on the indoor grill did the trick. So as soon as a fire starts, you get this notification that a fire has started on your home lot, and the fire alarm will start going off if you have one. If you don't have one, you'll have to use your Sim's phone to call the fire department, and you can just click on the phone and call firefighters will be an option. But the fire alarm itself will also notify the fire department. It takes a little bit of time for the firefighters to show up in The Sims 3. I'm gonna have Marty go over here and try to extinguish the flames while we wait. No, you don't have to call the fire department. They're already coming. Go extinguish. A firefighter is on the way. Okay, he called anyway. And here come the firefighters. So they show up in a little fire truck. It's super cute. And you get one firefighter. This is Dexter Foley. And he's gonna rush inside and immediately try to extinguish the flames or help your Sim extinguish the flames. Hurry up, Dexter. The kitchen's burning down. So he uses the same fire extinguisher as The Sims, but his fire extinguisher just works better. And in The Sims 3, you will get a little bit of insurance money. So insurance is granting you 284 simoleons to cover your loss from the fire. It's usually not enough to cover what your Sims actually lost. Like if you lose a stove, 284 is not going to cover it. They lost a grill, so this will actually cover the cost of 150 simoleons. You can just click replace to replace it. After the fire's put out, the firefighter will tell you guys should be more careful next time, and then he'll get in his truck and leave. Firefighters in The Sims 3 can be interacted with, and you can start relationships with them. Like we could ask him to hang out right now. Like, hey dude, thanks for putting our fire out and giving us that insurance money. You want to hang out for a while? Justine's gonna ask him. Sure, I'd love to stay and hang out with you. So you can befriend them, marry them, everything just like you can do in The Sims 2. Also, just like The Sims 2, Sims 3 firefighters can only extinguish accessible fires. It was only in The Sims 1 that they would extinguish inaccessible fires. But unlike The Sims 2, if one of your Sims manages to extinguish the flames before the firefighter arrives, he will actually congratulate them whenever he gets here instead of fining them like in the previous games. In The Sims 3, each pre-made world comes with 2 pre-made firefighters. User-created worlds will have 2 random firefighters spawned if the world creator didn't specifically create any firefighters. If you have the Ambitions expansion pack installed in The Sims 3, there's a new lot type called a fire station where your Sims can actually go and work. It's an active career. Sims can work at the fire station and respond to house fires around the neighborhood. In The Sims 3, if a fire starts on your lot and you're not currently focused on your lot, you will get a notification and you can click move camera and it'll take you right to the fire. I've had Marty start another fire here now that I've put the fire station ambition slot down, and we're gonna wait a moment for the actual fire engine to show up. In the meantime, I'm gonna have my Sims try to extinguish the flames themselves because I don't want it to get out of control. Okay, I hear the sirens, the fire engine is coming. And here it comes. So we actually get a full fire engine now instead of the little fire truck. Here comes our firefighter in to help us extinguish the flames, and hopefully we get some more insurance money. Now it took him even longer to get here this time, so the fire has spread a bit. And once again, we got 284 simoleons to cover our loss. And he's apparently angry at us, telling us we should be more careful next time. He's probably tired of coming over here and fighting our grill fires. And just one more tidbit about the NPC firefighters in The Sims 3 that you might not know is if you have the Seasons expansion installed, Frozen Sims can be revived by firefighters who've been summoned by the alarm or called on the phone. So if you have a sim that is freezing from the cold temperatures, you can call firefighters over and they will revive them. So that's pretty much all there is to firefighters in The Sims 3. I really like the way they work. I love that they actually drive over and show up in front of your house, and it takes a little bit of time, which I feel like is very realistic. And I like the insurance money that you get for your lost items. And I really like the active firefighter career, but that's for another video. This is just about NPCs today. So let's head over to The Sims 4 and talk about the firefighter NPCs in that version of the game. In The Sims 4, fire alarms work the same as in the other games, with one exception. Now, fire alarms can be placed in any room on the same floor, and they will still detect a fire. According to The Sims Wiki, though, if you put them on the second floor, they will not detect the fire. There's also a new item called a Fire Prevention System Utility Panel that you can place anywhere on your house. This thing is so hideous and ugly that I almost never use it in my own games, but you can slap it onto your house somewhere, and if you have one of these on your lot, if a fire breaks out, sprinklers will automatically appear and put out the fire for you. This was more useful before firefighters were patched into the game. That's right, firefighters for the first time ever were not included with the base game in The Sims 4. In fact, they weren't included until patch 95. This came out in June of 2020, which is almost 6 years after the game first released. That is a crazy long time to wait for something as basic as firefighters, if you ask me. But we do finally have them now, and they work kind of like they did in The Sims 1. But anyway, I'm gonna try to start a fire on this lot so we can get a good look at how it actually works. I'm gonna take Travis Scott here and have him go cook on this cheapo stove. We'll have him try to cook mac and cheese and see if we can get a fire going. Okay, well, he didn't start a fire. I feel like I almost never start fires in The Sims 4 either. I think The Sims 1 and 2 had more fires, or at least it felt like it. So cooking's not working for me, but another way to get a fire started is to put a fireplace in your house and light it, and maybe we can put something near it like a rug. Okay, so we're gonna see if this will do it. Let's have Travis go and light the fireplace, and we're just gonna let it burn, baby. Fireplaces used to have a really high chance of starting a fire in your homes, and they actually had to reduce that chance because fires were just out of control, and now it's like difficult to get one to start. It took me forever to get a fire to start in The Sims 4. I mean, it is crazily difficult to get a fire to start. You can't just get a sim to cook on a cheap stove anymore. So a fire has been detected. I've got like incense burning. I've got fireplace with furniture next to it. I've got the cheapest stove. I put a grill indoors, and I had Liberty, and I actually had to download a mod that made a greater chance of getting a fire to start on your lot to even get one. And I had Liberty cook on a grill indoors a couple times, and she finally started a fire. So when you start a fire, you get the little pop-up, a fire has started nearby. Maybe your sim should put it out before it spreads out of control. And I'm waiting to see if the fire alarm is gonna go off. So let's press play. Travis, it looks like Travis is trying to put it out. I'm gonna click on it and choose call fire department. We do have a smoke detector, but I don't see it like going off. Stop extinguishing it and call the fire department, damn it. Stop it, Summer, stop it. Somebody call. Okay, there it goes. Now it just started going off. What? Oh my God, are you kidding me? They extinguished it. So we didn't even get the fire department. Oh my God. Okay, I'll see you in about 2 more hours after I can get another fire to start. Jeez. No, Liberty, you will not go to work. You will stay here. Yes, I'm sure you're gonna skip work and stay here and cook food on this indoor grill until a fire is started. You're not going anywhere. Yes, it finally happened again. Oh. So after trying everything in the book, I had Liberty set off a firework, and it looks like we got a fire, but it wasn't the firework. It was the stupid fireplace finally caught this stool on fire. Okay. God, I can't believe how hard it is to start a fire in The Sims 4. Jeez. Okay, so I got a fire. We get our little pop-up that a fire is started nearby. Maybe your sim should put it out. No, I don't think we want to put it out. Don't put it out. Don't extinguish it. Oh God, here's another fire, I think. Okay, I think I've gone crazy with the fires. I have to keep my Sims away from extinguishing it so we can get the firefighter here. There you go. Just freak out. No, don't extinguish. Route to safety. That's great. That's great. Route to safety. So when you have a fire, some of your Sims will do this route to safety, which hopefully means they're going to run outside and not through the fire like Summer and Travis appeared to be doing here. And it takes a couple minutes before the smoke detector picks up on the smoke, which I actually do feel like is pretty realistic, especially if the fire's kind of far away from it. And then once it starts going off, your Sims will hopefully run outside and a firefighter will appear on the lot. This is Tyrone Schultz, our firefighter. Are you gonna go in and fight the fire, dude? Or are you just gonna stand here? Okay, oh, there's two firefighters. Okay, there's two. So Madeline and Tyrone here are gonna come in and battle the fire for us. Now you may have noticed they just walked up on the lot on foot. There is no fire engine, there is no fire truck in The Sims 4. The firefighters, just like in The Sims 1, just walk onto your lot with their fire extinguishers and come in and extinguish the fire. And they do it pretty quickly. They do a pretty good job. And come on, it's spreading, guys. Get that fire under control. And then we get an insurance payment, just like in The Sims 3. So the BFF household received 12 simoleons as an insurance payment. Gee, thanks. Thanks for that 12 simoleons. But I guess it's better than nothing. And then the firefighters will do a little cheer that they put the fire out, and sometimes they'll do a little dance as well. This time they just cheered. And then we get a notification that the fire has been put out. Try to be a little more careful next time. And once again in The Sims 4, firefighters are fully fleshed out NPCs. You can talk to them. You can ask them to hang out. You can marry them in or whatever. Now, if you marry them in, of course, they won't remain firefighters. Same thing as in the other games. A new firefighter will be generated if you move one of these Sims in with you. So, I mean, literally, that's all there is to it in The Sims 4. The lack of a fire engine or even a fire truck is something that's really bothersome to me in The Sims 4. I mean, we had it in The Sims 2, we had it in The Sims 3, and then The Sims 4 just feels like it's taken a step all the way back to the original Sims game. Firefighters were so well done in The Sims 2 and 3 that they just feel a little bit disappointing in The Sims 4, especially considering we had to wait like 6 years to even get this much in the game. I think a fire engine just pulling up in front of the house or in front of the lot would have just added so much immersion and just made it feel more exciting and more fun. I've heard the excuse that we don't have open worlds in The Sims 4, so that's why we don't have a fire engine or a fire truck. But I mean, we didn't have open worlds in The Sims 2 either, and still a fire truck rolled up on the lot. Firefighters in The Sims 4 feel a bit lame compared to The Sims 2 and 3. They feel like a throwback to The Sims 1, but I guess, you know, it's better than not having firefighters at all, which is what we had before this patch that added them to the game. I wish that the Sims team would have been more innovative and like built upon what we had before and made firefighters even cooler and even better. There's really not that much to them in any of the games, so how could we do that? Just adding a fire engine, like animating a fire engine that maybe comes up the street with sirens blaring, parks in front of your house, and then the firefighters run inside would have been a good touch. I think that's what it's missing, honestly, because besides that, it's really not that different than the other games. I also like the fact that your Sims will sometimes autonomously run outside when there's a fire. That's pretty cool. It makes them seem a little bit more intelligent than the previous games when they would just stand there and freak out. But overall, I like things about the firefighters in all the games. Sims 1 was very basic, of course, but there were firefighters in the original base game of The Sims 1. We also had firefighters in the base game of Sims 2 and 3. Sims 4 is the only one where we didn't get firefighters for several years. And then your Sims would just have to extinguish their fires on their own, or they would have to use that hideous box that you put on the side of the house. Another little tidbit about firefighters in The Sims 4 is that they will show up when there's a fire on any residential lot in all of the worlds except for Solani. Firefighters do not show up there. Instead, the neighbors come over to help put out the fires, which I think is a nice touch for that world. So what do you think about firefighters over the years, how they have changed and evolved from The Sims 1 to The Sims 4? Which ones did you like best? Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. I always love to hear your thoughts on these comparison videos because you guys always bring up points that I never even think of. My name is Cindy, and I will see you with a new video very soon. Thank you so much for watching.